Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kingz Round Table. Finally, we have a table that is round. So we have four gentlemen here who will help me dissect, dig deep into matters relationship. Let's just dive deep into it. I believe everyone here has gone through a breakup. And before you settled with your current people, you were in a previous relationship. Now, think through that. Is there a difference when someone says they need space and when someone says they need a break?
What are they getting space from? And what are they getting a break from?
Okay.
I mean, is it that you need some time to go and think about something? Because in my opinion, that will be space. Or do you need a break from the relationship, in which case, ideally you're breaking up?
I think for me, out of an experience previously, came to a point where we were in a conflict situation, and I think we didn't understand the environment we were in, and it came from my partner then when she said that she needed to take a break. In essence, what came out was that she needed time to go and just reconstruct, think, and reconsider a lot of things that were going on at that moment between us. So, to my understanding then, it was just that time away from the relationship, because that's where the conflict position was, so that she could just get perspective on a lot of things.
So when she said this, did she come back?
Yes, she came back. But for me personally, I think at that time I didn't understand what taking, because my opinion personally then, besides hers, was break means you guys are not working out.
So you can perambulate.
Yes, you go your way, I go my way. So, because that bit of taking time and going to rethink, what are you going to reconsider? How do you measure that time? And what will be going on?
What are the conditions
Yes.
of a break?
Exactly. So for me, personally, I didn't understand the break bit. She insisted, and then being in the middle of that conflict, of course, she had to have a way.
Yeah.
So I think after a while, that's when now, even for me personally, we came back later. It was like a span of 3 days. Then we just started dissecting the whole situation.
For me, I think a break is an introduction of the end. If you're in a relationship and you ask for a break, it means that your commitment, your efforts, your strength to stick on the relationship is no longer there. So you want out, and sometimes you don't have the guts to say, let's end this. So you're testing the waters. You're trying to see how does it go. And for me, as a matter of principle, at some point I had to choose. Anyone who tells me they need a break, I tell them I don't take breaks. We are either in or we are out. Because what does it mean? If this relationship was to advance and we marry, then does it mean that because I have accepted that we take a break now, when we are married, are we going to be taking breaks? Are we going to divorce and then you come back? We may have kids. What does that mean? So yeah, that is my understanding of a break.
I think just speaking what of the world said, Joseph is probably just one. So it's a diplomatic way of saying this thing is too much. Yeah, I feel like yes, there's what we expect a break to be, which should be okay. The initial question was break and time
And space.
And space.
Yes.
I think space probably is to solve a little bit of a conflict that we have. So just to restructure, reorganize, rethink, maybe you need to be out of the situation for a day or two, just to think clearly, then you bring back your best self. That's what I think space is. I need some space. Okay, that's what I think.
Yeah.
A break then will be, our current situation is not working out. Let us take a break from it. Let us venture into other things. Now, what are the rules of engagement? I don't know. But let us venture into other things for a while and see if we can still be together. You know the way they say, you only know the value of something when you lose it. You understand? So sometimes people try to play that game and say, no, let's take a break and see. If we are meant to be, we are meant to be.
Yeah.
But I think what Joseph has said is very true. That it's a diplomatic way of an end. I find it less. In most cases, I think by a show of hands, even me, I don't take breaks. My own wife asks me for a break. Not in marriage. When I met her, she had her own situations, I had my own situations. So we were to sort our situations, then I'll come and continue. But I think I was piling too much pressure on her. Because me, I'd sorted. You know, I'd sorted my issues. So I wanted also to sort that with the layer. And I think my constant query on the issue probably gave her a bit of pressure, and she felt, now she tells me she felt like we were going so fast that she just wanted a break. Let's take a break, let's take a break. You get, so I kind of get sometimes a break is not breaking up and running away from you. Maybe it's things have come too much. Relax. Let's hold up and rethink, re-strategize. Or diplomatically saying that, way, boss, I don't think this is what I signed up for.
So there are two ways of using a break. Either let's come out of the relationship and look at it from an external point of view, or let's go separate ways and see if we'll come back together. Because me personally, I was told we take a break so that she can focus on Jesus. Now,
I think
that I think was
that was hard. That was pretty.
I really hope
she focused.
She focused on Jesus, because that was how can you compete with Jesus? If someone tells you I need to focus on Jesus, you can't. In no world can you can't argue with that. You can't say that you watch we focus on Jesus together. Amesema, and it's Jesus.
It's our journey.
So is there? So are we saying, is there space for a break to actually be held? Especially when dating. I know in marriage we change that word to mean space. But in dating, is there a space where a break can actually be healthy?
You know, I feel, looking back at even where I am now, and I feel when you're younger and you're starting these relationships, there's a lot of knowledge that you lack. You don't know what to look for, how to complement each other, what strengths, what are the red flags to look and run away from. So once you're in a relationship, then you realize either you're competing with your studies, your priorities have started changing, yet you have made a commitment. You're seeing this relationship is not going to have a definite end, which is a happy ending, or you're moving towns, you're relocating, you're going to college, and this changes dynamics. And this may be an introduction of why a break is necessary.
I think for me, I would like to look at it this way. I like to go back, like Kimondo is saying, and look at myself 25 years in a relationship. Understanding the dynamic of a relationship then compared to now just from my own experience.
Excuse me, 25
years.
Oh, when you were 25?
When I was 25
years. 25 years ago. I thought you had a relationship for 25 years.
I said my 25-year-old self.
Oh, your 25-year-old self.
Yes, so when I look at that 25-year-old self version of me then, there's a lot of inexperience in relationship. There's a lot of misunderstanding and misdoings, because then I think everything pretty much is fueled by feelings. by a lot of what you see or how you perceive things in that state. But when you grow and mature, after a while, there's experience that you gain, either through being taught, just interactions you're having, and a lot of dynamics change. So if you ask me at 25 years dating, if a break made sense, probably I will say yes. Because then again, according to the reasoning, because you're fighting conflicts and a lot of other things that you have learned when you're older or mature, there's a different way of approaching things and solving them. So at 25, I would say, yes, it makes sense for me to take a break. But as you grow and then understand if maybe it's a conflict situationship that you are in and there's a way of resolving it, then taking a break does not make sense. Does not make sense at all.
So a break comes in when people are in conflict.
Mostly, yes.
Or, like you were saying, when one person feels smothered in that relationship. Like you were saying, either there's a lot of pressure to do something or to be someone. So you feel there's... that makes sense. But let me ask, PK, what should be, you touched on this, what should be the do's and don'ts? If you're going to tell your 25-year-old self now is going to tell your girlfriend, I need a break, what do you feel should be the criteria or the do's and don'ts around it?
That will be depending on whether I am for breaks. Or
Which
against
he is
breaks.
against.
Yes.
So you're against breaks?
Yeah.
Yes.
What I think is
Personally,
this.
yeah.
What I think is this. These guys have pointed a very powerful point that might dilute it. At that age, are you thinking of marriage?
Yes.
At 25?
25.
Let me tell you, any relationship that I have ever had
Has
in
been
my
for
whole
marriage.
life, I have always thought of the future. I've always thought of marriage.
Wow, okay.
You're one of the few.
Yeah.
It's the only one.
Every relationship. Now,
I like that.
no matter how, small I was, no matter how young I was, I have always thought, I have always seen I'm going to marry this girl. You get? Yeah. And, my wife can attest to it. We dated for years and years and years. But I told her from the very beginning,
Yeah.
I am not in this to play games. I'm in this to get married. I'm going to get married. It took me years. I didn't quite know what the gravity of that situation or the gravity of that statement was, or how weighty it was. I only came to find out with time. And many times, not many times, she asked me for breaks, once or twice, and I would refuse, because in my opinion, when someone is telling you, let's take a break, one, probably they're trying to win themselves over you. Yeah, they're trying to prepare themselves to
Life post you.
Yes, to go ahead without you. Now, or number two, they have been trying to get you to see who you are and to find yourself, but you're not seeing it, and you're not finding yourself.
I like that part.
And in most cases, when you do not do that during that break, because breaks are usually, you go your way, I go my way, you find yourself, and after you're ready to commit or after you're ready to go in the direction that I would like you to go, then call me. Yeah. At that time, whoever in this case is a person who needs to work on themselves, may work on themselves, may not. But whoever is out there, maybe either out there hoping that this guy is working on themselves or thinking that this guy does not give a hoot.
He's busy.
Yeah. So let me move on anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when your wife was telling you that she wants a break,
Yeah.
what was her reason for asking for that break?
I was not serious. I mean, in the sense that there are aspects of my life that she wanted me to look at. Yeah. There is the man that she had seen in me, the potential that she had seen.
Right.
Yeah.
And she wanted me to, make strides towards that direction. But I couldn't see it because I was full of myself at the time. I was, naive and young and all that.
And at that point, you had already given your intention that
Yes, but as I said, I didn't know
the
what
weight
it
of the
meant.
gravity.
Yeah.
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 In my opinion, marriage was just marriage. We, come together,
She's the
We just stay
build a
together.
family,
Yes.
build a
Get
family
kids
together,
and all
get
that, yeah.
kids, grow old and all that, and grow together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd actually even wanted to be married very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd wanted to marry very, very young, so that when my kids are 20 years old, I'll be in my 40s.
25.
Yeah, I'll be in my 40s. So that so that I grow with my kids.
Yeah.
Nikikuwa na utoto hata mimi nitakuwa na utoto. So I thought back then.
I don't know, so, yeah.
Yeah. So I have never been for breaks. Sometimes they may be necessary, but I would prefer that you tell me, unfortunately, for who you are right now, I don't think we can move on. I don't think we can build a relationship or we can build a marriage or whatever together. So let's just break up. If you ever come back in future after you find the man that you're supposed to be, or after you find the woman or the lady that you're supposed to be, okay, mostly it's dudes, then come back. And if you find me, then it's okay.
So, did you take a break?
No.
I think just listening to everything, I think I'm for breaks now. Because I'm thinking like this. When you're sick, you go to hospital, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the first thing the doctor asks you is a series of questions. Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you do this? Do you do that? The first thing he tells you is whatever it is I'm giving you will not allow you to continue the certain habit. For example, these drugs will not allow you to drink. And if you drink, they'll be of jeopardy to you, to your life. And so you're required to take a break from that habit. So I'm trying to look at a relationship situation here. What is it that we are feeding into our relationship that is destroying it? Right? That needs us to, as he said, reflect, self-reflect, self-grow, because all we are doing is killing it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can hold on and say, I don't want to break, but you're still, whatever you're pumping into the relationship is destroying it. And so unless you're out of it, to reflect, to feel those feelings of probably this person is no longer in my life, you understand? Then it becomes challenging. Because a lot of people I probably speak to who have forced the vehicle through. Yes, the vehicle gets to pass through the space it was forced through, but with a lot of damage. You mess the side mirrors, you mess the bodywork, and you mess everything. Or probably you'd have taken a different route that would have ensured you get into the situation at a better state. Okay? So I think I get the problem is with our society, man. What is a break? When you go out there, are you reflecting?
Madam, okay. You see, the thing is, you may tell us to take a break from this relationship because you need to find yourself, or you need to stop smoking so that you can get married.
Oh, find Jesus.
Or find Jesus. Ranjobi said you were told that she needs to find Jesus because you are asking for unJesusly things.
Exactly. And that's my point. And that's my point.
You were asking for unJesusly things,
Yes.
and she was trying. She knew that the more you persisted,
No, it was
she would have fallen.
I was asking for Moses things, but she
No.
wanted Jesus.
Yes, Old Testament things.
Yes, that's Old Testament.
Yes, and now we're in the era of grace.
Okay.
So you are not asking, you are asking for law things.
And what grace
Now-
does, grace allows you to follow the law.
Yes. But now, the thing is, you may tell someone that, you have not done, I love you and all that, but I need you to stop smoking for us to get married. Or if you're going to move on in this relationship, you need to stop smoking.
Let's talk about heavy things.
Yeah?
You can smoke and get married. Let's talk about like cheating, for example.
No. Let's talk about smoking. Yes, because it is in the trivial things that you're tested in those small things. You're tested with a shilling before you're given 100.
But for me, that would be the wrong advice. Don't he doesn't have to stop.
Yeah. No, I'm
you
saying
marry
we're
him?
giving it an example.
Hello.
Yeah? It's a hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
Now, it is easy for me, yes, to show you that I have stopped smoking. I know I did. It is easy for me to show you that I have stopped smoking. it is easy for me to, tell you hata kutoka leo sivuti sigara ingine, ensure that whenever I smoke away from you, and ensure that you're not going to get that smell of the cigar. And we get married only for you to later find out that uko kwa gari nakuanga glove box uko nyuma, there's a pack of cigarettes and a kiberiti. Yeah. So breaks are tricky in that way. It is easy for me to pull one over you. Yeah. But the moment that we break up, in my opinion, because again, this is a relationship. It is not marriage. This is us preparing ourselves for a life of commitment and growth together.
And you hit my point on the nail. Because
let me interject you just a bit before I forget. My concern is this. At 25, for example, studies have shown, experience has shown, that the mind is not developed to look. Let's use. I don't want to speak about people's relationships. Sorry if I mentioned yours, but most people who married early, if they can be honest, they'll tell you what they've had to go through. Has been a lot of things. You understand? A lot of difficult things. And so, I don't see why I should insist on being with somebody who is not yet, you see, okay, smoking, okay, some things probably are not as heavy as you think, okay? But why would I tell a girl who's dating a man who keeps cheating? But for me, I feel like he's in a phase of, first, it doesn't work. Because God helps you, some other things. Number two, he's in that wild phase of everything looks attractive. You understand? You break your neck in CBD. Everything that passes, he wants. You know what I mean? Yeah. But where he is at that point, holding on to that relationship will cause damage. Damage to who? Damage to the girl. Okay? Yesterday I talked to someone, I told them, a woman is like an elephant. They keep memory. Yeah. You better make sure the memory she's keeping of you is good. Okay? Yeah. Because then you'll reap benefits of that. Yeah. Some of us right now, our marriages or relationships are in trouble because of issues that were formed while we were not okay. Yeah. And so what I'm feeling is a break will detach us from having to keep those memories into our relationship in the future. Am I making sense? Yeah. That okay, right now, I know where we are going, but you've got it all wrong. Let's take a break and see if you can work on those things. Especially if it's a fundamental issue. Break fundamental issue, okay? Yeah. Your fundamentals, your heavy, your foundation. Yeah. Yes, in infidelity, loyalty, trust issues. This guy doesn't say anything, he never speaks the truth. You get what I mean? Those fundamental things, but not she doesn't clean the room. Yeah. She's not tidy. She's not. Those are simple things.
But let me ask Mutheki, and I'll pick from two extremes that Kimamo said. From one aspect, there's something he said that I like personally and I relate to, and this comes from, like I said, your 25-year-old self and right now where you are. Remember, at this particular time, you've gone through experience. You know, if you're in a relationship, you're very intentional about it. You're putting in the works, and you're growing.
At the end.
Yes, at the extreme end. So, coming back here at 25, like he said, if you're intentional about this is the direction we'll take about this relationship, anything that follows is now working on it. Are there conflicts? Yes, let's look at the conflicts, you see. And with that, it goes on to that aspect of there's growth, there's correction, there's panel beating everywhere. So you're getting better every other day. But now when we come back to the extreme issue like cheating, I don't think there's anywhere where it's written that you must be in that relationship or you'll die. You get? So before, because it's a relationship, you're not yet married, before, it's a ground for understanding each other, knowing each other, correcting each other, covering each other's mistakes and all that. But all with the intention of growing, of getting better and giving your best version of yourself to your partner. So if it comes to that bit of the extremes, I think for me, I'll go what Kimamo said. It's either you're in or out. And the best route to take for me will be, it's not taking a break, because for a break, it means that we'll go our separate ways, and then at some point, with the aim or goal of coming back together, now having sorted whatever was the issue, which I don't think will work, but I will go with the route of, if we're breaking up. Because
So any break for yours is a break
is
up.
a break up.
Not
In
a
terms
break.
of this, I cheated, right? Let me just, because now my partner is the one who's against cheating, right? So if she's against cheating, and that's where she sets standards for herself. Maybe I might cheat once, I might cheat thrice if she condones that behavior. And I don't think you can take a break for cheating. You deal with cheating.
All the embarrassing bits of just
Yes, right there, in there. You go through the pain, you go through the embarrassment, you go through everything. With the advent,
Let me interject just 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry for interjecting. What I'm saying is this.
yeah,
I think we must look at the consequence. Okay?
yeah,
In our last talk, we mentioned something about women have been conditioned.
yeah,
I'm paying for other people's sins. You getting what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you're in a relationship where a chick has fences that are so high and so impenetrable,
yeah,
but those are not your sins. You didn't bring the cement, you didn't bring the steel that built that fence. You're paying the sins of a previous relationship.
yeah,
Okay? And as you said, nothing is cast on stone.
yeah,
And so for me, I find it very difficult to iron out things in the funnies. You get, when the things are hot, things are difficult. We are dealing with emotions of cheating. Every minute I wake up, I remember you were with another, you hugged another woman. The way you hugged me. You kissed her the way you kissed me. You texted her the way you texted me. So there's a lot of pain. And so sometimes people don't end up dealing with it. They end up covering.
yes, yes,
Okay?
yeah,
And so personally, I think space is important. It's important to walk away. Just you go. Because then, if this relationship was of value as you say it is,
yeah, yeah.
we wouldn't need space. We
But
wouldn't need time apart.
You tell me to go. For how long am I going? Or during this time that I am away, what are we doing? Like, okay, let me pick
Now,
this.
now that's a good question.
Yeah, let me
so,
pick his
so what
his
is the
example.
yes.
One partner cheated. Yeah, so the guy cheated. And the lady says, you know what, I need a break from this.
Yes.
When they're both separated, what is the guy, if the guy is remorseful about it?
Value.
Yes.
Value.
So if the guy is remorseful about it, he's going to do what? To work on himself.
Yeah.
And during this time, have we said, because you see, I can't put a timeline on, go and work on yourself for 1 year,
Yeah.
then come back.
Sure.
I believe in 1 year,
Yeah.
you'll stop cheating. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I think I'm trying to see the balance between this, because I am with you, but I'm also with you. And I think there's a time and a space for space and for a break. I feel like there's a time for each of them.
Yeah.
If it's an extreme case like what you say, this cannot be worked. We cannot work on this together. You need to go and work on this yourself, because sometimes we look at retribution from our partners,
Yeah.
and we can't get it.
But
We look at our partners to get to find. It's like they will help us deal with our cheating, because now
Yeah.
maybe there's something you are like last time when you said something you are not getting in this relationship, and you feel your partner will give you that to stop you from cheating.
Yeah.
And that will not happen.
Sure.
It's a last problem. It's a like you say, it's a value problem in you that you need to go and deal with.
Yeah.
But if your partner comes and says, I need a break because I cannot, okay, let's be honest. If your partner's cheated on you when you were dating,
Yeah.
would you stay with them and work on it?
Will you ask for that break?
Okay.
think of it before I answer. A relationship is like a plant. It grows daily. It's not like a building that doesn't grow. You know, the foundation and then you keep building. How high? Debatable. The plant could be at that point, it doesn't have, you remember our science in primary school, there's no sunshine. So you direct it, it will go to look for sunshine. So now these things that you lack at that point is when the leaves may turn yellow, maybe the soil does not have nitrogen or some nutrients. That is what you need to fix. Now, for the question that you're asking, if you asked now, you're likely to get a different answer than you would have gotten if we were younger. Because I feel earlier on in life, we start relationships without being maybe deliberate on how they're going to end. It's trial and error. But if you have a bigger picture, like right now, all of us are married. You are there deliberate. We are working there. Yeah, you're getting there. So you're intentional. You're working towards.
Yeah.
So if you ask me that question now, I will give you a different answer from earlier.
Okay, let me ask it like this: if your sister was dating someone who had a wandering eye,
Boss. Here's another example.
yeah,
Wait,
no,
yeah.
no, your sister, someone personal to you, someone who you feel you are obligated to be in charge of. Maybe he has, you can see a tendency of, because you're men, you can see a tendency of this culminating into him being unfaithful to your sister.
Yeah.
Would you, if your sister says, I feel like I need to take a break from this guy, would you say yes?
Well, they're dating.
Yeah, they're dating. Especially now that you're against a break. What would you advise that lady who feels, I need a break from this because of this particular issue?
I'll go with break up, not break.
So you'd actually advise them to break up.
Okay.
Yes,
she loves
because-
him. They love each other.
No, I don't think
They've
that's
been
love.
working.
There's no love
That is
there.
cheating.
Let's be practical.
Okay.
Because when we are talking about breakup, that space and
A break.
a break, we're talking about something very deliberate. Something that is, for me, according to me, like Kimamo was saying, is if it's a relationship that is culminating into marriage. If it's marriage, it's a lifelong thing. And the only thing you can never do in those situations is grow. And that's why I still pick up on what Mr. Kimondo is saying. From this perspective, you'll still not run away from that aspect of your younger self who is still not knowing anything, who is still foolish in a lot of things, and your grown self who is mature enough and understands a lot of facets in relationship and what goes. So coming to your question, yes, my younger sister, my younger cousin is dating someone who's fishy. My obligation to that relationship is to advise her, break up from this guy. Because the challenge is this. It's the guy who has the issue, right? It's not her. The guy now, break up from this because, and then you explain it down, of course, because now you understand, you have that understanding. I'm not saying that go destroy a relationship that might be good. No, you're dealing with facts and things that build people in this perspective. In that, you're working towards, even advising them to break up is even to their own benefits, because that man is supposed to learn, cheating or just being unfaithful is not correct. Whether you're dating or you're married, the precedents should be set.
Then can we break up and come back?
Break up and come back.
Or break up is fine, we're done.
Break up for me. Okay,
Kudos.
personal. Okay, let me say
Yeah,
personal.
for you.
For me, if it's a breakup, it's a break. You break up, it's over, it's done.
Can I ask it like this? Religious leaders go for sabbaticals. Okay?
Yeah.
Take a sabbatical. Take some time out to sit down, reflect, re-energize, recuperate, then they come back and serve. Is there anything like that in dating? Is there anything like that in a relationship where you like each other, you love each other, but unfortunately due to prevailing issues, some immaturity, some habits, some things that are jeopardizing the relationship, it means you're actually on a rough patch. It's a pretty rough patch, okay? And sometimes maybe you want to step back and look at this situation in a different way. So for you, if you are ever to have gone through a rough patch in a serious relationship, but it's a rough patch, your options are either break up or stay in it and work in it, despite being exhausted, tired, not focusing. Every day you see them, they give you a certain feeling of, you feel bad, you feel down, you know, they don't get the best out of you, okay?
Yeah.
So it's either we break up or we work on it.
Okay, I'll answer this from the two dynamics you have actually portrayed. When a priest is taking a sabbatical, why is he taking a sabbatical is the question. They take a break because they have given their time, they have given their energy for a good cause, right? And it's like they're empty now and they need to get refilled. So it's not an extreme of a good or a bad situation for them. It's that bit of, I just need to go back and, you know, get energy to be able to continue. Now, if we shift that to a relationship, not talking about now conflict or you're not clear about something, I'll encourage that actually from this perspective. Maybe, let's say your partner has been experiencing very intense issues outside of your relationship. Maybe at a workplace, maybe with family, maybe even things personal she's not understanding about life in general. And she needs time out. In that case, she's not needing time out from her relationship. She needs time out for herself. And I'll support her. Does she need to take an holiday for 2 weeks? I can even pay for it. I'll be checking up on her. I'll be ensuring she's okay. And she's getting that into that space of being herself again. Now, we take it now to another dimension where there's a conflict. I think that's where now the challenge comes in terms of taking a break and taking a space. And I think we agree amongst ourselves that when you're in a conflict, you want to deal with the conflict, not you fighting each other about a conflict. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
So it's, yes, my partner and I, we've had a fight about, let's say, me not putting the toilet seat down, right? Now you're at loggerheads, you're fuming, right? A lot of other issues might spring now to intensify this seat. And that's why when we talk about now deeper underlying issues, like let's say personally I used to deal with anger. It used to play itself in fights. And I realized at the end of the day, I'm not tackling the issue, I'm fighting against my partner. But now in terms of, now you realize, okay, this is the issue and we should be dealing about the issue, and maybe both of you don't understand it. Okay, we can give each other space, like, let me go think about this bit of putting the toilet seat up and down. Is it that pertinent to me? How does it affect my partner? You see, you circle around the issue. And I'm sure by the time now you said, even if it's an hour, even if it's a day or even 3 days, you'll come back and address that issue and you'll get a solution to it. But that does not mean that your part check out of this house. Let me go think kuko over my mama's house, and I come after 3 days and then we start talking about, no. We can even be there, I'm watching TV, she's cooking, and we are processing.
And she's watching
yes, she's watching TV, yes, and I advocate for that, very good. But you're processing. And when you sit down together, you're able to now look into the issue and deal with it. And I think that's the ideal. When I say now, in a relationship, you're working towards that ideal. And when you get into that space now, you understand this is a lifetime ideal. So if anything comes to the table, it's about tackling the issue. It's only working with a grace attitude that we can be able just to see, okay, in this situation, this is what is important. It's my partner and not the fight.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Let's ask the moderator. So, for you, is it a complete no? Because what I'm thinking personally is sometimes time away helps you think clear. Time away brings perspective. Okay? The best thing to do when a task is difficult, a good manager will tell you go. Because the more you keep working on it at that point, you get nothing. You get a mind block.
But law of diminishing returns.
Yeah. Let me ask a question to Ukiendelea. But when the manager is telling you to go home, has he told you go away from your job? Has he communicated you from your work? Okay.
He tells you go home, relax, sleep. Probably call it, tells you come back after 2 days.
Yeah.
You calm, your juices are flowing.
Sure.
You're thinking clear. So, what do you think in that situation where honestly it's becoming negative in a relationship? But you like each other, yes. There's emotions that are positive. What would you do? What's the option?
Okay. I believe, and this is a personal, intimate belief that I have, that most of life's issues or most of life's answers are in balance. And there's a time for every single thing. There's a time to take a breather. We've used so many words here.
Yeah.
Sabbatical. We've used time out.
Yeah.
Same thing you give your kids. We've used all these words.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe, even when dating, there is a time to take a time out. You're probably in the same vicinity. A time out could be some minutes, some hours.
Yeah.
Let's take a time out.
Yeah.
Whatever we're discussing here, we're not agreeing on it. Let's take a time out and go do whatever you want, then come back. Let's say time out 2 hours, then to Rudy. We discuss this thing.
Yeah.
But I also believe there's a time for a break. What PK was saying is, if you get into a relationship and you know this is going to, you want to get married to this person.
Yeah.
You both have, especially if you both have the same vision, the same drive to get married to each other.
Yeah.
You know you want this. But there are things you need to work on. There are things I need to work on. Now, I'm not saying the result will be successful, but there is a space. There is a space for a break, where you say, let's take the next, and I believe in actually discussing it and saying, this is the reason why I need us to take a break, and let's try doing this for the next 6 months. I'm not saying you'll come back perfect. It is highly unlikely that in 6 months you'll be able to deal with a habit that you've had for, let's say, for the past 10 years, or a character that, because now habits become character. It has now become your character that, like now for you, you are always angry.
In the past.
Yeah, in the past, at everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not now. So, it is impossible for me to give you a timeline and say the next 6 months, you come back and you're okay.
Yeah.
But let's review this in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
If it cannot go on, then let's say this break, imetusaidia kuangalia vitu from a different perspective, and during the break, put even conditions.
Okay.
No.
You're going to go for counseling.
Yeah.
You are going to talk to your mentors and because I might be the one with the problem, but you need to deal with, do you really want to come back to this? If I do not change, do you still want to come back to this? So in a previous video, someone posed or said that this is what they were told, especially now when it comes to marriage. Do not get married. If you're not ready to forgive anything in marriage, don't get married. And that struck me. As in, to this day, I'm wondering, wait, I'm supposed to be able to forgive everything. Like there are times when I feel, even in marriage, and this will be controversial, But sometimes I believe even in marriage, there's a time when this cannot happen. I was in the life. Like what I'm not an advocate for divorce, but I believe that there are situations in marriage where you guys need to, I don't know what word to use as I'm doing this. This is separate, this is break, this is space, I don't know what it is. But the time to step back and reevaluate if Ian is in the layer.
Okay. Are you talking about marriage or a relationship?
Now, dating, there is a time for a break. In marriage, I still believe there are seasons where you might need to take a break. Let me give you one example. If your partner is violent to the point of harming you physically. I know someone in campus I was with who was, the chick was in a violent relationship to the point that at some point she was stabbed on one of her breasts. And guess what? She still went back. Now, in such a scenario, if this was marriage and it's harmful to your life, I'll tell you, leave. Now, either leave, take some months, years, or whatever, but how do you stay in such, how do you say, and I'm saying this because it's very controversial, how do you stay in that marriage knowing that your life is in danger?
Of course.
Now, you have kids as well.
Yeah.
If this guy is able to do that to you, what will this guy do to your son or to your daughter? So, I believe most of life
This chick is able to do that.
yes, yeah. So I believe most of it is just a balance. Know when this needs space.
Yeah.
If it's a disagreement, you're talking about the toilet seat.
Yes.
It does not need us to break up.
Yeah.
If it's a disagreement about responsibilities, which is a big one, even in
Doesn't
marriage,
need to break up.
we don't need
Probably just need space.
space.
You just need a bit of a break.
And space, and that's why I said space, I agree with that. Because space is just giving yourself time.
Okay, can I call it space without you calling me? You get what I mean? What I'm trying to say sometimes.
Yeah.
You, hey, how you doing? There are things we do naturally.
Yeah.
So are we taking, I think we should move to the next point where, what are then the definitions?
Yes.
Yes.
What are the definitions of space?
And that's why I say
What are we allowed to do or
Yes,
not do?
to do or not do.
I have a question. Are we taking space from the marriage or from the issue?
Yeah.
Because you can be...
What is the issue affecting?
Listen, you can be in a... Assume it's an argument.
Yeah.
Yes, or a disagreement, because ideally, because we are building a relationship, we are working towards our future. So every conversation that we have should be a conversation that is building us.
Yes.
If I feel that you're doing something that is wrong, then we should talk about it
Even before.
as in I should tell you I feel this way and this way and this way.
Yeah.
And you should listen in an ideal situation. You should listen because we are trying to build that future together and we are trying to work together towards that future. Yes. Now, sometimes during those exchanges, yes, I tell you, Dan, I think, whatever. And sometimes you become defensive or she becomes defensive. Yeah. Then you start going at each other. Now, at that point, yes, if you were to say, I think this conversation has gotten to a point where we are not building each other, we are not edifying each other.
Yeah.
Let's take
What is
some
that?
time off this conversation.
Yeah.
We are still in this relationship.
Yeah.
Yes. To regroup. So that when we come back here with cool heads.
Yeah.
Yes. And tackle the issue.
the issue, yes.
Dan,
My
you said
question is this.
you said that it is us against the issue. Yes, if it is causing strife in this relationship, it is us against it. Yeah. So if we get to a place where we have started siding with the issue, yes, we take some time off the issue, not off the marriage, not off the
The
relationship.
relationship, yeah.
Yes, off the issue, as we discuss other things that are happening in the relationship and the marriage. Yes. Then when we have cool heads, yes, we come back and we discuss that issue.
Yeah.
Perhaps in that time, it will have gone Pray to God for guidance. Pray to God to give you, research on whatever issue you're talking about, and try to listen to whatever your partner is telling you.
Yeah.
Especially women will tell you, I feel. Usually we say I think, but they say, I feel you have done this and this and this, and I feel bad about it. For us, we start justifying why we did that. Not really listening to what the person is saying.
Yeah.
Now, if you find yourself in a situation where it has gone out of hand, sorry for repeating this, it has gone out of hand, just put us faces up katikati. As you guys go and think about it, then come back and talk about it.
So
Now,
I think my question is this.
Which is the case of, his example where someone, it has become toxic. You remove yourself from toxicity. Yes, the law itself allows for you to first separate. As we say, separation or breaks are, build-ups to breakups and divorces. Sindio, if you're in a toxic relationship, even I would not advise that you hang on, and because the commitment, the commitment is on one side. Somebody has completely refused to commit. That is usually what it is.
My question is this. You've clarified it very well. That we take a break from an issue. I'm talking about 5 issues. You don't have only one issue. You have this issue, you have this issue, you have this issue. Those issues are affecting the relationship. They are affecting the core, what you guys are. Okay?
Yeah.
And so if we pose this issue, we're not posing feelings, we're not posing emotions, we're not posing anger, we're not posing we're not saying, okay, let's agree to disagree. Now, so how's the children? You did your hair, I love your eyebrows. See, it's a capsule.
Yeah. Everything is
yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's very idealistic to say let's park this issue. Let's park it for another time and space.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It works, yes. In marriage, that's very important. But I think maybe for a viewer who's watching, who's asking, Dan, I love this guy. Okay?
Yeah.
But we have multiple issues.
Yeah.
We never get to communicate.
Yeah.
We have problems. He has this, and I also have this. Dan, what do I do? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm for the school of thought where I can say, take a break. Okay?
Okay.
Because things are not working now. Take your sabbatical, maybe strong word.
Yeah.
Let me use a simple one. Take a breather.
Yeah.
Breather is too light. Take some space apart. That is a bit neutral. Go, you live with your mom.
Yeah.
Go to Sharks,
Yeah.
go to Nanyuki, go do farming. You get, you love farming. Go do farming for a month or 2, just listen.
Yeah.
A month or 2, Harris, get into his work, get into what he's trying to do, and see, can you guys, is this thing of value that you're willing to drop your issues and come together?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, maybe that's where I'd advocate for a break. I know why you guys are refuting it.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of breaks
Yeah.
are hall passes. Guys look at a break as a hall pass.
Sure.
You get?
Sure.
As long as I'm on a break, I go back to my black book. That was under the bed.
Wait list.
Christina. Belinda.
If I may,
You get what I mean?
if I may,
I think.
Yeah.
I think from this conversation, and maybe this message especially is to the youth,
Yeah.
don't get into a relationship until you know
What you're signing up for.
yes, and you're committed to it, to avoid these breaks.
Yeah.
Because you need to define
Are you
what
telling
it
us
is
every
you are.
relationship is marriage?
No, understand where I'm coming from.
It's a build-up.
Yes, you're building up.
Yes.
That is how we can fix the moral fabric of this society.
Yeah.
Don't
If
just
we
get
all
in for games.
own
Yes.
up, if we
Yes.
all took responsibility of our actions, then if you're in a relationship, openly discuss the issues that are affecting you.
Exactly.
We are at a point where we are discussing today, unfortunately, the divorce that is now public of Bill and Melinda Gates. 27 years of marriage. They have their own issues, we can't comment. And there are so many issues being written and reported about it. Now, you don't have to be in a marriage and divorce fix, openly discuss.
While dating.
While dating, in marriage, issues will also be there because we are evolving. The marriage is also evolving. Your character is also evolving.
Yes.
If issues emerge,
Yes.
discuss.
Yes.
If the pressure is too much,
Yeah.
take a walk. Then come and look at it with a different eye, a different angle.
There's some advice that is given to people. I don't know by which people. I've heard of it. Can't remember who told me. You're told that if you're going to get married, whoever you're seeing as your spouse should have faults that you can live with.
Yes.
Yes, faults that you can live with from the very beginning. Of course, it's a bit misleading because sometimes you do not fully see a person
Yeah.
until you know he or she is already in the house. However, you can tell from the friends, people they hang out with, etc., etc. Because you should assume that you're not able to change that person.
Yeah.
Many times we get into marriage and relationships and try to mold people into what
We want.
we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many times you try and fix people. Hiyo ni kazi ya Mungu, in my opinion. So, it is advice that perhaps may not be very sound, but may also be very sound at the same time. Because the person that you are living with, the person that you're going to commit your life to, or you're going to commit living with for the rest of your life, should be someone that you can live with, including their faults. Yeah? Such that if their values and your values are aligned, and that is important for you, then why not? But if you think their values are not aligned to your values, then perhaps it will take a lot of time before you agree. It will take a lot of operation before you get to that point where you agree to agree. Yeah. So
That's why we talk about equally yoked
yeah.
for marriage.
Yes.
Now, it takes time.
Yes.
We can't discuss the finished product if we are not carving it out, if we are not being part of the creation. And each relationship is different. It's unique. It has its own issues. People are different. So we just need to...
And I love what you
Look
said,
at it.
Joseph. And for me, sometimes people say I'm a bit draconian or I'm a bit harsh.
It is true.
But but what I'm saying, what I'd like, is let's not bring a lot of I don't know, it must sound harsh, but let's not bring a lot of learning into marriage.
Yes.
Let's do it in dating.
Yes.
Let's do it in relationships
Yes.
where the stakes are low,
Yes.
where we can break up and walk away,
Yes.
That's why we are saying...
where we can do all those mistakes.
Yes.
But when we get into marriage, you have the... You see, the thing is, why probably I disagree with every person I dated was for marriage, was because I was first attracted to someone, maybe how they look.
Yeah.
I like their hair,
Yeah.
I like how they talk.
Yeah.
But as we continue dating a couple of months, values are not written on someone's chest.
Sure.
You see them pop every day. And as they pop, then we simply don't align.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And so it just dies off.
Yeah.
But there are somebody I met, like my wife, for example.
Yeah.
I saw her. I liked the package. I liked what I saw.
Yes.
But not only was that, but after sitting with her and getting to unwrap her to know what she's about, what she likes, her dislikes,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is someone I can be compatible with.
Sure.
This is someone I see myself being with for years to come.
Yeah.
And so my personal advice, which is very personal,
Yeah.
and not everybody should take it, is do everything outside marriage.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And
What's required?
everything I mean is sort out the contracting. Get the right contractors, have the right materials, have the right tools. Because once a foundation is laid,
Yeah.
can you imagine realizing we made a mistake when we were on 17th floor? The cost is demolishing the building or moving to a new site. Or let's pay the cost and redo it. The cost is so high at that point.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
And so I say, let's work on these things before we get married. Let's
Yeah.
be open, let's be honest, let's be truthful. Let's have so many things out there
Okay.
so that when we get married now, we just building on character, building,
Sure.
forgiving mistakes here and there, which mistakes happen.
Sure.
But we are building, issues happen, yes. I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not perfect. Just that I want to believe that there are things I did probably in the past and I would not expect them in a marriage.
Yeah.
It's like my son jumps on the couch now. He keeps jumping on the couch. When he's 16, we have a problem. Okay? Now he talks gibberish. If he talks gibberish when he's 16, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why I said at 25, my relationships were very different. I was immature. I was young. I didn't have long-term goals. You know, everything seemed like it's now.
Yeah.
It was feeding the sensation of now. I want happiness now. I want joy now. I want pleasure now.
Yeah.
But the older I get, I fall in love with long-term gratification.
Sure.
Delayed gratification, progress, process, building and growing. So for me, I feel like you can date to learn.
Yes.
You can date to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So you don't make them when they matter.
And I agree with you.
Okay, make this your parting shot, so just go round.
Okay.
You're already done.
Okay.
As in you're done, you're done. So let's just go around saying your parting shots.
Yes. So now I'll just build up to what Daniela said. Most of the time, marriage tends to expose a lot of things in you that you are not even aware of. Relationship, yes, should be a learning curve for all of us, but let's also do them the right way, because our setup of current relationship, it's all about before you even get to the 3rd month or 6th month, you've already slept together.
Week month. Hey, boss.
And SMS.
Not SMS.
Yes. So
I like that.
the current scenario or ground for dating is a bit skewed. So learning, yes, but also let's learn the right way, you know, because when you're dating, you're learning about your partner and yourself at the same time also, because personally for me, I only understood that anger problems when my partner came into the picture, because previously I used to justify it. When you're in a fight, yeah, I'm a man. It's come out, I've dealt with it, it's done. But it gets defined when you get into a relationship. But do I want to carry that problem to marriage? No. Let it be made okay for people to say, we've dated for 1 year, and during this period, this and this has not worked, or I've learned this and this about you. Let's normalize breakups.
Taking stock.
Yes, taking stock. Let's normalize breakups at that point if it's not working. You understand? Such that.
Yes, I like that.
Yes, such that if now we go into the real ideals, like PK was saying, if you're dating, I know I'm dating to get married. So when I'm dating, I'm learning, like Mwongela is saying, I'm correcting things personally. I'm not correcting my partner, correcting things myself. And when it gets to a point that I see this thing is not, this Jenga game or this whole house is not making sense.
Dismantle it and move.
Like you're saying, don't do it while you're on the 17th floor. The foundation is set, it's not correct, dismantle it, go your own way. Or I can take a break to go to a farm in Moranga. But how about I go for counseling or therapy myself? Such that I understand it's the issue that I need to deal with. Instead of going away, let me go confront them.
And go work on yourself.
Yes, go work on myself. But that does not mean now leave your wife or your girlfriend here and go to another space, so that I think that's a bit selfish, because it's my wholeness and my partner's wholeness. I mean, there's a lot of other paradigm shifts that can work for us in different ways. But if I'm for this person, let me work on myself. Let me work for the benefit of that relationship.
JK.
Thanks. I feel like Karis has summarized for me too. But we need to define what is a relationship at a personal level. And the characters in these relationships also need to define what the relationship means to them, so that from the onset, you're building on it. About marriage, there is a book I'm reading, and it says that marriage is an institution. Individuals will change, but the institution will not change. So, if you're starting a relationship to end up in marriage, then, because remember, for marriage counseling, when you're going premarital, you do it, I think, 4 weeks. But then you're an individual who has been alive for 35, 30 or so years. So you're trying to learn about an institution in 4 weeks. So for us to cleanse the society, this moral fabric on relationships, on marriages, we need to go back as uncles, as aunties, as parents, and start talking to these kids as they are growing, as they are getting socialized. What is it that you look for? What are you building? What kind of father, what kind of husband do you want to be? What kind of wife would you want? We develop that. So as we are getting into a relationship, into marriage, there are things that will happen that you have control and you don't have control. You need to be equipped with abilities and capacity to handle. There are people who get married, realize they can't get children, they start divorcing.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Define your relationship, your marriage. What are the extremes? So if we were to do this, if by the time we were starting every relationship that we had, we were all grounded and anchored with these truths that we now understand, we will have been very different. The relationships that we had, we may have hurt people, people may have hurt us, but it will have been a different story. So we need to start creating a new moral fabric for relationships, and that is how we will change society. My parting shot.
Okay. PK.
They have said it all. Perhaps what I would like to add is, it is good to acknowledge that we are all broken in one way or another. And it is not my job to fix you. It is not your job to fix me. You may point me to the direction in which I need to go for me to get, or for me to realize my brokenness. But it takes courage. And it takes you interacting with the Word of God for you to understand relationship, for you to understand marriage. And it is through that, yes, that you will be able to tackle your issues. You will be able to understand what is required of you when you get into marriage or when you get into a relationship, because it is defined. But just to emphasize a bit more on what they've already said, I think mentorship plays a very big role in everything that we do. I do not believe that I have to be, sorry, I have to disagree. I do not believe that I have to be in many relationships for me to fully understand, sorry, to try or to mess up.
I have to get a response. I have to respond
to mess up. I don't agree that I have to, make all my messes in the relationship, or in a relationship. Then go into the marriage, build, because then it would be harder for me to learn new things, in my opinion. In the past, even when Adam was given a wife, he had not been in any other relationship. He learned the woman from that point henceforth. Yes. They both came into it fresh. They both came into it innocent and naive. Yes. They had the father there to guide them through their marriage. Yes. However, that naivety and that freshness, I think, is very, very nice to get into marriage with.
Yeah.
So that as the years go and you look back, you have mentors and you have people around you who can, help you where you think,
Sure.
when you become hot-headed, because it happens a lot. I think that freshness is very nice, because years will go and you will look back at where you have come from and you will see growth, you will see progress, you will see every step that you have taken, and and you will laugh about the things that you thought about when you were much younger. If you come, I have always told people that if you wait for a man to build himself financially, for example, and then you come into his life when he's financially well, there's more often than not, he will take you as one of his possessions, as an ornament, perhaps, yeah, because he will not, there will be very little that you will bring to the table in terms of growth. You will have found him grow, perhaps you'll also be grown. Just be coming together as an ornamental piece of furniture or whatever it may be, yes, for the purpose of saying that man is complete, that woman is complete. So it is good. Realize you're broken, work on you, work on your relationship together.
Okay. So I might emphasize on a few things, but ideally, my belief in dating is, even from the word, is collecting data. You're collecting data about each other. The problem is, when we date, see you feature white. Dating is presenting the best version of yourself. And that is where now I agree with you that when you're dating, it would be good to show, for both of you to show each other, even your Nico. If there are things to deal with, let's deal with them now. If you know you have an anger issue, or you know you have a wandering eye, first of all, this is something you deal with your God before you come into a relationship. Because a relationship will just amplify it. It will not cure it. Just because you have a wandering eye doesn't mean that when you get into a relationship, not because you have eyes for only one person, that is where it will be. It will still wander, because it's not sort of physical problem of mtu kuja. It's a heart problem.
Yeah.
So what my advocacy for dating is, one, go ahead and collect data. Know this person as much as possible, but also know that you cannot know someone completely. Some of it you will know in marriage. The moment that, like you say, the moment someone walks into that door and starts living with you, that's when you realize, hey, this person is very different. I'm torn between these two, the two schools of thought. I sometimes feel you should collect as much data. It could be with one person, it could be with different people. Because sometimes you might collect data here and realize this is not working. I go collect data here, this is not working. Now, I'm not saying do it in the same period of time. End this, begin another. But I also feel that what, like JK was saying, what is lacking also in society is the sort of commitment even to a relationship. I think you're the one who was saying it. You get into a relationship today, you evaluate for 3 months, and then you bounce. Because you've seen one thing that you do not like. Now, figure out what are your non-negotiables. Figure out what is, I cannot go into marriage with this. This person has an anger issue that he is not willing to deal with. I can't go into marriage with this. If this person has an anger issue that he's willing to deal with and is making strides to deal with it, maybe I can give them some time. Before I make the commitment in marriage, maybe I can give it some time. But the moral fabric that JK is talking about that has deteriorated in our society now is, I'm in it for a period of time. I'm not picturing marriage in this. Personally, I dated one woman and decided this is the one I want to get married to. That's the one I'm with now. I've never had any relationship with anyone else. Maybe they've had relationships with me, but I've not had a relationship with them.
And the Jesus one?
The Jesus was what now we have, there's a new word in the dictionary called entanglement. So I think that one was an entanglement. But collect as much data as possible, but also know that commit to a cause, commit to something, commit to someone. Don't just jump from one to the other. Sure. But again, if it's not working, then it might be time to look at what are you evaluating this person's character, this person's habits against? Like you said, values, the word of God. Sure. If this and God are not aligning, Because if your values and your principles are not aligning, it will not work. If you're not on the same page, it will never work. So you're evaluating this against something. That something has to be solid, and God is the only thing that is unchanging. So you evaluate your relationships against God. You evaluate someone's habit, someone's character against God. If it doesn't weigh, if it doesn't balance, then I personally think there are some situations where space is required, some situations where a breakup is required, and there are times when even taking a break would be healthy in that scenario. So thank you for tuning in. Every view discussed here was personal to each and every one of us. So take what works for you. What does not, discard it. We are not
Professional.
we are not the best. We are not perfect. We are just kings who want a better future for ourselves and for the next generation. But evaluate for yourself with your own God. It's a personal relationship with you, but it affects everyone else. So thank you and good night.